Learn English daily. You were staring at the rain just now, weren't you?
Yes, I was. It was reminding me of that day when we were hiking in the woods and the sky opened up. We were getting so wet, remember?
Oh, yes. We were laughing so hard, trying to find some shelter. The leaves were rustling loudly as the wind was blowing them about.
And that squirrel. It was darting across our path as if it was also looking for a refuge from the rain.
I was thinking about that squirrel just last week. It was so cute. Do you recall the tiny shack we stumbled upon? We were hoping it was empty, and luckily it was.
Absolutely. The rain was beating down on its roof, creating such a soothing sound. We were sitting on the floor, waiting for the storm to pass. You were sharing stories of your childhood while I was simply listening, entranced.
I remember. The rain was making me nostalgic. I was reminiscing about the times when I was playing in the puddles as a child. My brother and I were always competing to see who could make the biggest splash.
It's funny how rain has this power. Every time it's raining, I'm taken back to memories, like when we were in college and were caught in that downpour after class. We were running across the campus, shouting and laughing.
Oh, and our books and notes were getting completely soaked. We were trying to protect them with our jackets, but it was a futile effort.
And by the time we reached the dorms, we were looking like two drenched cats. Everyone in the lounge was staring, and some were even chuckling. But we didn't care. We were enjoying the moment.
That's right. The rain has a way of making moments memorable. My grandmother was often telling me stories of her youth when she and her friends were dancing in the rain. They were believing it brought them good luck.
That sounds lovely. We should have tried dancing in the rain when we were at that shack.
We should have. But, the hot cocoa we were sipping on was quite comforting. It was warming us from the inside out.
Yes, and the stories you were sharing were adding to the warmth. You always had a knack for storytelling.
Thank you, John. That day was one of the days I'll never forget.
Grandma, you were looking so young in this picture. Were you at the beach?
Yes, dear. That was the summer your father and I were visiting Cape Cod. The sun was setting, and the waves were gently crashing against the shore.
And who's this man you were walking with? He was wearing a uniform.
Ah, that was your grandfather. He was serving in the Navy at that time. We were spending every moment together before he was set to deploy.
It looks like you two were very much in love. His eyes were always searching for you in these photos.
We were. Whenever he was home, we were stealing every second we could together. Every evening when the city lights were coming to life, we were walking hand in hand, sharing our dreams.
This photo is interesting. You both were standing in front of a small cafe. What was happening there?
Oh, that cafe. We were celebrating our first anniversary there. The band inside was playing our song, and we were dancing right there on the sidewalk. People were watching and clapping. It felt like the world was cheering for our love.
Grandma, when you were telling these stories, I can see the sparkle in your eyes. Were you ever regretting any part of it?
Every life has its ups and downs, dear. But when I was with your grandfather, even the challenges were seeming less daunting. We were facing everything together.
Here, in this winter picture, you both were wearing matching sweaters. Were you always coordinating like that?
Not always, but during that winter, we were going through a matching phase. Everywhere we went, people were commenting on our matching outfits. It was a bit silly, but we were enjoying the attention.
It seems like you both were having endless adventures. Were you traveling a lot?
We were, especially when your father was a little boy. We were exploring every nook and cranny of our country. Every summer, we were packing our bags and setting off on a new adventure.
Dad always was saying you were the adventurers of the family. He was telling me about the time you all were camping and it started to rain heavily.
Ah, yes. We were setting up the tent when the rain began. The wind was howling and the trees were swaying, but we were making the most of it. We were singing songs and playing games inside the tent all night long.
Thanks, Grandma. These stories are treasures. When I'm older, I'll be sharing them with my kids,